At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
And I am Anselin Syed, and a pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is our program, Focus on Liberia Spotlight. Our Spotlight program is a program we do use to throw the spotlight on somebody from our community, somebody doing something extraordinary, something that is worthy of paying attention to, somebody doing something that is motivating, is elevating of who we are as a people, something that will make somebody to want to do great things. Welcome. And do us a favor by sharing the broadcast. Into this edition of Focus on Liberia Spotlight, we are throwing the spotlight on, as always, one of our own. That person is a writer, executive producer, director of a play called Behind the Red Door. Welcome. At this time, I will welcome my guests. It is good to have you, Ms. Wonlah. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so how are you doing?
I'm blessed. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. It's good to have you, and thanks so very much for allowing us to throw the spotlight on you to focus on your work that you've done. You have written a play that is impressive. And this is something that presents an opportunity for us as a people to learn and, look at some things sometimes we gloss over. And so thanks for putting in all the work to write this play that we can learn from and also sharing your experiences. We appreciate that so much. How is family, by the way? How the children?
Children are great. They are blessed. They are happy. They are flourishing and growing.
All right. Well, before we get to our discussion about your play, Behind the Red Door, people might want to know a little about you. Who is this great personality who put in all the time to write this play, that talks about the complexity of love and, and hidden truth? So who are you?
My name is Ivis Wonlah. I'm not going to get into the middle name now. Well, for my anyway, I'll do it for the culture. Ivis Mekapa Mami Oh Baby Wonlah.
Okay.
A lot of people know me and call me all these different names, but yes, I originally started off as a children's author. So I started off writing books for kids, and then decided to venture into writing a play. As my mentor would tell me, I have a lot to offer. I have ministry. I've experienced a lot of things in life that I feel like people could learn from. People can learn from me. People can relate to and hopefully heal and be helped through the message that I have to give.
How it all started with this passion of trying to write something that others can learn from. How did it all start?
Okay, well, this is something I've always wanted to do. I've always been into writing and wanting to get into the movie and entertainment industry in that aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
but you know, life happens to everyone,
Mhm.
and it's just things were happening in my life that didn't afford me
Mhm.
the time to do that.
Mhm.
But through mentorship,
Mhm.
when I, you know, decided to give my life to Christ, you know, fully, um, this is what was birthed, right?
Mhm.
Because I learned that there was ministry in my pain, there was
Mhm.
ministry in my story, there was ministry in my experience. So I felt like I've always felt like there was a greater calling on my life. And for me, this is the start of that greater calling, which is to be able to speak to others, motivate others, and encourage others by the things that I've gone through in life. So when I sat down and had a conversation and, you know, that mentor session with my great and awesome mentor, Lady Justina Faraj,
Mhm.
she was able to bring out of me what I've needed to be brought out of me all these years, which was that confidence
Mhm.
that I can do it. And I needed to stop being afraid and just trusting God in the process.
And so finally, here we are.
Mhm.
You have this play rating. I know you have written couple of materials, focusing on children.
Mhm.
And thanks for that work. And now, and correct me, this might be the first big one. This play.
Yep.
All right, and so let's start off with what is your goal with this play? I know you mentioned movie. Is it something you want to see acted as a movie? For people to see, so that this story can be told with
Mhm.
images and all that. Is that the goal here?
Yes, that is definitely the goal. And it
Mhm,
is something that's being worked on in the background.
mhm,
And believe me when I tell you that this will be a movie. I promise you it
mhm,
will be a movie. But that, yes, that is the ultimate goal. But
mhm,
apart from that,
mhm,
I also want to be able to put on more shows, you
mhm.
know, get the word out there,
Right.
establish that first, establish this play, establish people knowing about it, and
Mhm,
then everything else will come, you know,
mhm.
I'm sure of that.
All right. So let's get started. First of all, your goal here uh, in this storytelling is to that this should be a groundbreaking play that would tell and narrate the complexities of love. So let's start with
Mhm,
love. Not only love, you talk about hidden truth, but let's start with love. So the
mhm,
complexity of love. So what are some of the complexities of love that they play
mhm.
is set to unveil to us?
Okay, the complexities of love.
Mhm.
So if we go back to what the word complex means, right? It's
Right.
just something that's difficult, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
Difficult and hard to understand.
Certainly.
So this story, this love
Mhm.
is very complex. It's hard to understand one from both perspective. I think people are used to most of the time seeing women
Mhm.
in light of love stories, what
Mhm.
women go through, what
Mhm.
happens to women, and how they're heartbroken and how, you know, but
Right.
the twist to this is that you get to see both the man and the woman
Okay.
and the complex of what they both have to deal with
Mhm.
to either fight for their love, let it go, or let it tear them apart or take them into a place of mental instability.
So not pushing you to give too much
Mhm.
about because I too have been in love, just like you have,
Mhm.
except that you are brave enough to tell this story in a
Yeah.
way that will educate us. Uh, Give us some specific instances of the complexities about this love. Uh,
About this. Okay.
yeah.
For instance,
Mhm.
okay, so when we speak on love,
Mhm.
love sometimes can come with uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
And that uncertainty can come with the influence of
Mhm.
friends,
Mhm.
family,
Mhm.
society, and
Yeah.
culture.
Culture. Yeah.
And yes, and a lot of all those things, not a lot
Mhm.
of them, all those things
Right.
play a part in that complex love that goes on between the both of them. What the family has to say, what the friends have to say, what their opinions are, what society says you should, how you
Mhm.
should fall in love, how you should be in love, what you should do as a man, what you should do as a woman.
And it is that piece about that which you feel, that urge,
Yes.
that which drives you to the person, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
at some point you feeling the urge that, well, maybe it is about time to pull back, and you're not sure whether pulling back is the best option.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
all of these complexities now you are dealing with them, right?
yes, yes, yes.
So the question there is, you mentioned it is not only with women who get to bear the brunt of the disappointment, the lies,
Mhm.
and all those things, but men too have their own share.
Yeah.
So, did this play
Mhm.
strike a balance? Was a or is it more on the woman's side or on the men's side? How do you lay it
It
out?
is it is definitely
Mhm.
balanced
Okay.
because
Mhm.
me just being the type of person that I am,
Right.
I believe that we all have a perspective when it
Mhm.
comes to relationship. When
Okay.
a man and a woman are in love, when
Mhm.
they break up, when they
Right.
have issues, when they have
Mhm.
situations, each of us have a perspective, right?
Mhm. Right.
So what you hear and what you see in this play is the perspective of the men,
Mhm.
of the man, and the perspective of the woman.
Of the woman.
The things that drive the man and the things that drive the woman. The issues that the woman has to deal with and the issues that the man has to deal with. So it is on a equal, it is on a playing field 50-50.
So, did you explain a little more about the man perspective, the man's understanding, the man worldview about this thing called love that we all feel? And
Yes.
did you try to explain that and how that kind of drive them, how they relate to the other? Did you try to do
Yes.
anything like that?
I not tried. I did.
Okay.
I did. It is
Okay.
definitely
Mhm.
well displayed. It is definitely well told from a
Mhm.
man's perspective.
Mhm.
Um and I believe a lot of guys will sit in that audience and they'll be like,
Mhm.
man,
Mhm.
finally, a woman is able to tell to tell our story and tell and let people see that men too deal with a lot when it comes to love and relationships. They have feelings, they get hurt, things from their past um, influence their thinking and their reactions and everything like that.
Mm. Folks in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia program, FOL Spotlight, a program we do use to throw the spotlight on somebody in the community doing something extraordinary. We have Ivis Wonlah, who has written a play. She's a writer. She is a producer, the executive producer of this play, by the way. She is directing it also. It is called Beyond the Red Door. Beyond the Red Door is about the complexity of love and hidden truth. And she also talked about, you know, domestic violence. This is something she's been advocating for, child sexual abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder. So stay with us as we, talk a little bit about this play, which is intended to be acted as a movie. This is a Liberian, writing a play intended to be a movie. They will not be the first, and there will be more to come. So you have to pay attention here. So let's come to the complexity of hidden truth.
Mhm.
What are hidden truths? First of all, before we come to the complexity of the hidden truths.
Oh, what are hidden truths?
Yeah.
I would say hidden truths, in my opinion,
Mhm.
are hidden truths are the things that we personally, internally
Mhm.
know to be a fact, but we hide it. We use other things to cover up what is actually the truth.
For example,
Um, for example, you could be in a relationship with someone, and your intentions for that person isn't what you display to them,
or
right?
while you are communicating,
Yeah, what you are, yeah, what you're communicating, what you're displaying. You inside of you, you may just want this person for financial
for
gain.
part time, or you are
For
saying
financial gain, right?
you're
You may
right.
just want this person for financial gain, but you mask that with everything else. You mask it with lies and telling them you love them, you care, you'll go above and beyond, only until you get what you want. And that
Wow,
is the hidden truth.
I like that. So, what is then the complexity about that particular healing truth?
The complex about that is that you can be sending a message of one thing, but internally it is something else. That's the complexity. And then the other person is confused, and the other person doesn't know what is truly going on, because your actions and your words may not match. You saying I love you, but then you act a different way to them. That's complex to me.
Right.
You can't be saying you love me, but you're not showing me that you love me. So internally, something else is going on, but outwardly, you're putting something else out there, and that's the complex of it. Is that, and then you could be battling too. Sometimes you can be battling within yourself, like, do I love this person? Do I really love? Do I not love this person? Am I in this for the reason? Okay, I need this, but then they're a nice person, but then and it's all, that's what's complex about it.
And so, what happens then when the healing truth finally comes out?
All hell breaks loose. people's people's feelings are hurt. People's time wasted. Um, people. Then you have the situation where then certain, if someone is not mentally strong enough, then you've caused them mental damage. You've caused them emotional damage. So a lot of things can come with the truth being revealed.
And given the way the play is laid out, the way you lay out, with this particular hidden truth scenario that we are discussing, is the goal here is to provide ways that lovers and individuals can try to unearth the hidden truth, so that, like you said, when that is discovered later on, hair cannot be broken loose. It's just you trying to prevent something that might be catastrophic, that might lead to a post-traumatic stress disorder for the other individual. Is that the goal here?
Yes, of course, is an awareness piece, that's for sure, because not a lot of us, everybody walking on this earth have some sort of mental illness to a certain degree,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And some of us are able to deal with it better than others. Some people compartmentalize. Some people will bury it deep down inside, right? So when that happens and you don't heal, or you don't get help with that, you carry it onto your relationship. You carry it on to the next person. And then once you do that, the way you treat them, the way the relationship ends up happening and falling apart, or however the situation may happen, you have left a mark on that person for the rest of their lives, because you weren't able to deal with your inner self before bringing someone else into into your life and into your spirituality or your spiritual being.
Okay. So now the other thing I want to know is that,
I
so
want to answer that question
this
correctly.
person has hidden
Uh-huh.
truth, right? that they're not prepared to tell. They are communicating something other than what they actually intended.
Yeah.
And has there been, or is there a possibility for what they actually intend to come out and end up to be a happy moment for both person? For example, I see this woman, financially things are tight with me, and I see this woman, she's in a better place financially. So my goal here is that, well, when I get in a relationship with her, I will get help, I will get relief financially. So that is my goal here. I don't want to get married, you know,
Yeah.
and once I get in a better place, I can walk away. And so has there been a point where that's the person goal? That person has hidden that truth. Has there been a situation where now that the dad said, oh, okay, even though this is what I came for, can they have a change of mind based on or depending on how that other individual relate to them and say, well, I want to make this real now? Is that a possibility?
Anything is possible.
Okay.
And I believe anything is possible through prayer
Mhm.
and true what's the word I'm looking for? True repentance and
Maybe change of perspective,
yeah, but then again, I mean, I feel like a lot of things has to come from within, because I don't feel like anybody can really change a person. You have to be willing and wanting to change.
You think love can change a person? Because the person was going in there not for love,
Yeah.
but for financial gain,
Yeah.
and at certain time maybe they've been treated fairly, respectfully, and now they feel love, and then they can fall in love. So love can change that, right?
Love can, yes. I mean, it's rare. It's rare, but I mean, I do believe that love can change person. But then here's the conundrum to that, right? Um, this you come in with this with one um and you come in with an intention, right?
Right, right.
And then you have someone who it has pure intentions. And here you come with your non-pure intention.
Yeah.
And so what happens is this person has to work double hard, okay? Double shift to then show you or prove to you that love is real, that they are genuine, right? And then it's like you end up it's like that person ends up
I don't know
giving
why
too
you
much
said
of themselves. They
the
give
person
too much
has.
of themselves. Huh?
Sorry, I'm not sure why you said the person has to work harder or double. Because
Okay.
if this person is having pure love, good intention, it should be effortless. Like when you love somebody, I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think even things that you do, you shouldn't
Uh-huh.
feel it because you're doing it out of pure love. So that's why I'm just curious.
I understand what you're saying now. Yes,
Mhm.
of course the love will be effortless,
Mhm.
but is it really fair to them? Is it really fair to the other person?
All right. I don't want to answer that.
You don't want to answer it, but I mean, like, is it really? I mean, is it fair that because eventually I feel like it
Because
will
the,
come
the
out.
thing is, the thing
Anything
is,
that's
excuse me, the
hidden.
thing is, though this person has a genuine intention about what they want, and so they are acting based on what they want. Pure, true intention wants the relationship, right? And so they are doing things to cement that. But the other intention is different. So what you are saying here is that this might be unfair to that person because when you're talking about love, the intention should be pure. All
Yes.
right. It should be mutual. But
Yeah.
this person is about what they get. All
Yeah.
right. But mutual becomes subjective at this point. Well, my goal here is financial benefit. Your goal is, relationship, right? And so that's why I want to agree with you. And that the point I'm making here is that this is why, this is complex. This is the complexity of love and hidden truth,
Yes.
because people coming with different reason, different perspective, and
Yes.
on the name love. Love may happen, but
Yeah.
the complexity are there, and it can only, like you said, when the truth is unveiled, boom, all hell can be broken loose, as we
Well,
see in
and in
relationships.
my opinion,
Mhm.
love is not. I look at love as commitment.
Okay.
Most people feel like think that love is a feeling, but I
Mhm.
feel like love is commitment because
Mhm.
feelings come and go.
Right.
It is that commitment that you make to continue with someone and continue to do the things that you promised and committed to them that you would do, right? And
Exactly.
so if you're someone who's coming into a relationship and your intentions aren't pure, eventually that hidden truth is going to come to light.
Mhm.
It will be exposed. Nothing hides. Everything, what's the saying? Everything that happens in the dark comes to light.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with what you just said. Love is about commitment. Some people will say love is action. Some people say love is work.
Yeah.
The part of love that is the feeling, it could be the sexual feeling, it could be the passion you feel.
Hmm.
When other things are not in place, that feeling can go away.
Exactly.
That feeling can go away. And so if you are basing love on just what you feel emotionally,
Hmm.
and when are not other things to guarantee that, to drive that, it can die. Love dies, as we've seen in many marriages and relationships. So I
Yeah.
agree with that. But my curiosity here is that the play is titled "Behind the Red Door."
Hmm.
So the big word there is, two word, red door.
Hmm.
Why red door? What are you trying to communicate with that title, the red door? What is it about red door?
Okay. So we're going to get into that.
Uh-huh.
So that red door
Hmm.
actually symbolizes an actual red door. There's no symbolic to it. I don't know why I said that, but it was. If I haven't said this
Hmm.
play is actually based on my personal life experience in
Okay.
that relationship that I went through.
Hmm.
And the house that we lived in actually had a red door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me display that here,
Hmm.
for us to see that red door actually. So the red door was like this, and so a lot of things happen behind that red door.
Hmm.
And so that is what you are communicating. So in your story, and you don't have to go into details. What are some of the things that happen behind the red door, for which it has to be titled with this play?
Behind. Exactly what the play is bringing awareness to:
Mhm,
domestic violence,
mhm,
PTSD,
mhm,
um, the discovering of child sexual abuse.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those were many of the issues that
Mhm,
were either discovered
mhm.
or happened behind that red door.
Okay, so the specifics will save them
Hmm.
for those who want to learn,
Hmm.
including me. We'll
Hmm.
save the specifics, but we know the list now: uh,
Yes.
domestic violence,
Hmm.
sexual abuse, child sexual abuse. So, my curiosity here is, how did you? What was the challenge in pulling away? Uh, from those things, you first? Was it a struggle? How did you pull yourself out of that?
Yes. There was a lot of complexity, like we talked about.
Hmm.
A lot of forces that I had to deal with
Hmm.
in being able to take myself out of that situation.
Hmm.
Um, and not to say that it was all happening to me, because
Hmm.
remember, there are two people in this
Hmm.
relationship.
Right.
So for me, it took a lot of praying. It took a lot of coming to realization and coming to self realization.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, it took a lot of me having to experience the pain. The pain had to get hard enough. The pain had to get tough enough for me to say, I'm pulling away. I'm done. This is it for me. Now, I can't speak on the other party's pain and the things they had to deal with when they came to, the opposite. But for me, that's what it was. Yes.
Wow, that is powerful. So with all these things, they play is all about. If somebody should read it, if
Mhm.
somebody should watch the movie when it's done, what is one thing or two things that you want them to take away for that they
Mhm.
can apply to their life, that they can share
Um,
with somebody, that will make them to want to share this play, with somebody else?
uh, Definitely one will be having the courage to put you first. Having the courage to say my emotions matter, my mental matter, my life matters, I matter, period. That'll be one. And two will be that it's so many messages in here. I have to really think. It's a lot of messages. And then two will be um not being afraid to speak out,
Okay, yeah.
not being afraid to let someone know that you are hurting or what is going on so that you can get help. Because a lot of time we all feel like we can bottle everything up inside and that we're able to deal with everything, and some things are just too hard for you to deal with alone.
And maybe if anything to take away, do not allow the complexity of love, the complexity of truth to
Mhm.
hold you back from giving yourself freedom,
Yes.
from you know to getting out of a space that
Yeah.
is abusing you,
Yes.
getting out of a space where your child is being abused,
Hmm.
not because you build history, not
Yes.
because you build bond,
Hmm.
so you have to die in that bond.
Exactly.
Maybe that's one thing to take it. And thinking about that, how liberating, uh, in your opinion, that is.
Hmm.
Leaving the complexity. I love this person. We come this far. We build this history. Now I'm leaving. The uncertainty that comes with it. Where am I going?
Hmm.
We are not experience this again. Is there a better place out there? Is there a better person out there that will treat me the way I want to be treated? That's the complexity that get people stuck, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes they fear that, well, if this is made known to the public, it's a shame. I don't want to deal with that shame, so I'd rather
Yes.
be here. So how
Yes.
liberating is this, in getting away from something like that?
For me,
Mhm,
it's very being free and
mhm,
having freedom
mhm,
and not being bound to a person
mhm,
or being held down
mhm,
is very liberating for me. It
mhm,
feels good. It takes a lot of stress and everything away.
mhm,
And I'm glad you brought that up because one of the or some of the things that you'll witness in the play
mhm.
is I know a lot of times people ask the question, why do people stay in domestic violence relationship?
Right.
And it's not just about women, and it's men too,
Mhm,
and this play like really goes deep into a lot of reasons why someone would choose to stay in such a complex, such a toxic, such a mentally draining situation. Um, but for me, the liberating part was realizing that I was important and that my what's the word I want to use? I can't think of the word.
I know you
my
use I know
my
you use
urge
freedom.
and my
Yeah, your
yeah my
sanctity, maybe your
yeah
sanctity.
no,
Hmm.
I'm meaning like
Hmm.
my desire
Hmm.
to belong, my desire to feel important to someone,
Hmm.
um really ouch it shadowed, right?
Hmm.
It was a big cloud over me,
Hmm.
and it was hard for me to realize that I needed to be important to myself first,
All right.
because I was so worried about being important to everyone, being what everyone else wanted me to be,
Mhm.
doing what everyone else wanted me to do. And I didn't consider what I wanted to do, what was going to make me happy.
Is this a situation also of trying uh, to find a balance between what one's culture, uh, prioritizes versus the individual themselves,
Mhm,
looking at society, what
mhm,
society thinks. Say in this example, maybe a woman is there right in it, and now you telling me also that you form Christ and how you are expected to conduct yourself as a Christian, in a
mhm,
relationship, what makes it right to live, and
yeah.
should you endure? Because they say, well, when you marry in the case of marriage, well, for better or for worse. So the
Mhm,
worst happening, and then now you are this Christianized person. Well, better for worse, I should stay. Maybe good time will come. You know, uh, that kind of trying to find that balance is
mhm.
another thing one has to struggle with, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And then, like you said, it all goes into um, you know, the outside forces
Hmm.
that will influence your decision,
Right. Hmm.
whether it be religion, culture, society,
Hmm.
you know, family, friends, whatever it is. Because even in our culture, being Liberian, right?
Hmm.
A lot of things we don't take seriously. A lot of things we just let slide, and we laugh at it, and it's like,
Hmm.
you get you'll be okay type of stuff.
Right. Right.
And we may think it just happens with Liberian cultures, but it does happen in the Asian culture.
Yeah.
One of the actors happens to be a he's not Korean. I believe he's Vietnamese, but he's Asian.
Right.
And forgive me if I say wrong, but I don't think he's Korean. I think he's Vietnamese.
Hmm.
And he did, one day share that they too have that silent culture where they sweep a lot of things under the rug, and because of where they're from, they're not allowed, or it's taboo to speak
Hmm.
on certain things or do certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember overhearing a story from somebody. So they in this relationship, and the male in that relationship was the provider. He was working and he was well off, and he was paying school fees, and she pretty much had everything, and everything coming from this guy. But then the guy has a bad side, his bad side, that was traumatizing for her, that was painful for her. So she wanted to get out, and she went to the parents, to say, hey, this is what's happening. He said, what what are you talking about? You better
Mhm.
stay in that relationship, because the parents too, they were surviving on this relationship.
Mm.
And so say,
Mhm.
well, if you leave now, who's going to pay your school fee? If you
Yes.
leave now, how do we eat? Who's going to pay the rent? And
Yes.
and
Yes.
so this person I said, oh wow, my family in my pain because of survival. And so the person was in a situation she will endure this violence, this trauma, just
Mhm.
because I have to survive, economically.
Yes.
Yeah, society has that way, family, culture, and all that.
Mhm.
Try to, force people in something that they feel not right for.
Yes.
Their
Feel
humanity.
trapped in.
Yeah, trapping.
Mm-hmm.
Again, folks, if you are just joining us, you are watching Focus on Liberia Spotlight. And the spotlight is on a play written by one of our own, a sister, Ivis Wonlah. The play is called Behind the Red Door. She lived in a house some time back that had a red door. A lot of things happened. There was this complexity about love. We all love to be in love, right? And also the complexity of true love. And beyond our red door, violence domestically happened. All kind of abuse happened. And she managed to pull herself from that. All right, despite pressure from society, looking at other factors, and it was difficult. It was not easy. And so she's written this play, and she wants this to be acted as a movie so that we can all watch it. Because when we watch movie, we imagine ourselves in it. It becomes more relatable. The truth becomes more, revealing. And we can easily tell it, and we can easily apply it to our life. And talking about movie, we're talking big money, and we're talking about soft power. And allow me to say something. There's something that calls soft power.
Mm-hmm.
Look at America, for example. You watch American movie, you watch a John Rambo, you watch Commando, you watch the U.S. Marine acting in a movie. You see that these people, they are powerful. You dare not mess with them. It tells the story, of that nation, of that group of people, that they are smart, they are intelligent, they understand the meaning of life. And so this is what she's doing. Imagine a movie written, a play written by a Liberian, or a movie written by a Liberian, who happen to be a smart sister, by the way. It elevates us as a people, that we are smart people too, that we too can contribute to the war in telling the stories, about this war, and how we can all learn from these stories and become our better selves, and to avoid domestic violence and all kinds of things. So this is powerful, and we want you to be able to find this play. And so that way I come now with the question: how can people watching now who are thirsty and hungry for this play, or tell us when will it come out, and when that happens, where should they go? How can they contact you if they want to read it? If they want, tell us all that. That is important.
Okay. So the play will be premiering August 20th. That's Sunday, August 20th at the Lawrenceville Art Center. It is owned by the Aurora Theater, and we will be in the Bobby Sykes Fine Arts Building. The play will begin at 6 p.m. And if you want to learn more about the play, you can follow our page at Behind the Red Door. You can follow, you can also find us on Instagram at Mighty Eye Productions. So that's my production company. That's Instagram, and then just Behind the Red Door. The tickets are sold online at LawrencevilleArtCenter.com. That's LawrencevilleArtCenter.com. Tickets, there are different levels of tickets. VIP, of course, you get treatment and better seating. And VIP seating. Anyways, also, I did want to add that I have partnered with an organization called Sapria. Sapria is an organization that deals with child sexual abuse victims. Anyone who was abused as a child, what they do is they help you go through the healing process and become your better self. They have free classes, they have free seminars, free retreats, and things like that. So for anyone who might have gone through any situation like that, please, this organization is great in what they do, and I have their full support, their full backing. They're one of the sponsors, and many other sponsors as well. I have Kingdom Destiny, my church, who has been a huge support system to me. Lady Faraj, my mentor, my bishop, Bishop Faraj. So all these people have come on board because of the message that's behind the red door. We're all pushing the message and pushing for healing. And I promise you, when you watch this play. It will the purpose also is to bring healing to people who have been hiding and hiding behind a lot of their traumas, childhood traumas, and situations. I promise you, if you don't leave that play crying, or if you don't leave that play recognizing that someone in your life is probably going through something, then call me a liar. And also, lastly, we do have a crowdfunding on Indiegogo. It is so I don't know if you ever done production before, you will know that it is a lot goes into that cost of producing anything, especially at this magnitude. So if you want to support, if you cannot make the play that day, if you want to support, even if you want to sponsor, I have sponsorship packages for those who have business and things. Just go to indiegogo.com and look for Behind the Red Door. And anything you wanted to bless me with, I will appreciate.
Thank you, folks. You heard it, but if you don't remember all of what you just said, how to get to see, to know more, and want to watch this play, Focus on Liberia is a play. It's easy. Just inbox us.
Yes.
If you see this, there are numbers below there. Call any of those numbers. I may be the guy you hear on the phone, and then I will direct you to her and where to go. Let me read a few comments before we close. This one is from Musi Main. I hope I got it right. Great job, Ivis. Love to see people using their creative gifts to address such topics.
Thank you.
This one is from Justina Farrar. Wow, I'm looking forward to this. I do look forward to that. Dazzy's Treasures Rise. Congratulations. Beautiful. I see Cassiana is giving you some flowers.
Yes, Cassiana. She is also a producer and one of my biggest supporter. Thank you, Cassiana, for watching. Yeah, she's a Pastor C. I'm sorry. Let me be respectful, Pastor Cassiana.
Yeah, Pastor Cassiana, thank you for watching. And please share the video with as many people as possible to learn from this. Randolph Davis, right? You go, girlfriend. So very proud of you. Then Justina again, amen indeed. Justina is watching. Justina again, she writes, let's go.
I told y'all that's my number one.
Yeah, let's go. So talking about let's go, we have to bring it home. And again,
before we end, we end, I just lastly want to say a big thank you to Focus on Liberia. I thank you, Anthony. I thank you to the whole team for giving me the opportunity to use this platform and promote and put myself out there. When you're starting something new in your beginning, not too many people believe, not too many people will even trust you enough to say, hey, let's put you out there and let's bid on you. So I thank you. I thank you all so very much. I appreciate it.
And we thank you too for doing this. This is a learning experience for us. You are elevating everything about us as a people, not only yourself. The story that you are telling, this play that will be acted, thousands of people will learn from it, and they will be able to pull themselves from a difficult situation just as you've done. This is powerful. Thank you so very much. And Focus on Liberia is proud to be doing it. This is what we do. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. On that note, folks, again, if you don't know how to get this play, if you can't get to her, get to us. We will help you get to her easier. Now, the song that closes the broadcast is called We Are All Liberians. That song closes the broadcast right now. And until we see you again, my name is Anthony Sier, saying to you, bye-bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.